All right, I have the Trailblazer Kevin Holland on the show now, who will be facing Kyle Daukaus next at UFC Vegas 38 on October the 2nd. Kevin, how are you, sir?
Feeling good, feeling good. How about you?
I'm good, man, and I appreciate you giving me a few minutes of your day here. I really can't wait for this fight. I mean, I've been high on you for a while now. I think the same thing about Daukaus. I think he's really someone to keep your eyes on moving forward. But the thing that intrigued me about this matchup is you're number 14 in the division. He's unranked, so you don't really see a lot of fighters in your shoes fighting, someone that isn't ranked. Most of the time, you're seeing them wanting to fight up. So, what went behind your decision here to accept this fight?
Nothing at all. They simply asked me if I wanted to fight Daukaus, and I said it'd be an honor. You know what I mean? It's like I seen Daukaus's 2 out of 3 UFC appearances. Sad to say they both for the losses that he had, but they were against tough people. You know what I mean? We have a similar loss in Brandon Allen. He looked good against Brandon Allen. I looked better. I just simply got choked. Uh, that was my own doing. And then the Phil Hayes fight. Phil Halls. I haven't fought the guy. You know what I mean? I've seen the guy. He looks like a pretty nice, filled out person in person. Seems like a pretty decent fighter. Has a lot of tools in the tool bag. He's actually fighting a fellow, kind of like a teammate of mine, Deron Wynn. So, yeah, I was very eager, very excited when they told me I could fight him. I don't look at the number. You know what I mean? I don't pay attention to those type of things. It's like I beat Jacare. Jacare didn't have a number next to his name, but his last fight was before fighting me was going to decision against the 205 champ, who beat the 85-pound champ. So I don't pay attention to the numbers. Numbers don't matter. What matters is what you do in there, the work that you put in. And to me, Kyle Daukaus is somebody who can test me just about anywhere and everywhere. So it's going to be a fun fight.
Yeah, I know the fans got to be really excited for this one. This is a really interesting stylistic matchup. Now, I do know that you recently signed a new contract with the UFC, so congratulations on that, man. Is it a 4-fight deal? Is there longer than that? Like, what are the specifics of that contract?
It's my longest contract and it's my highest paying contract. You know what I mean? Usually I signed 4-fight deals, but it's longer than a 4-fight deal. And usually I signed something or but then just put it's the extra zero behind the numbers. So I'm a happy man. You know what I mean? Good day in the office for me.
Yes, sir. Well, congratulations. Very, very well deserved. Obviously, the takeaway here from your last couple of fights was to improve the wrestling. You've made no secrets about that. Your meme game is very strong here about going to train some wrestling with DC, and I believe that's where you're heading right now. So, have you trained with him already, or will this be your first time doing it? And what's the plans to get that working with him moving forward?
No, I've trained there once before. This one was simply they reached out and said I need to be there, so I wasn't sure if it was him telling me I need to be there or if it was words coming from the boss's mouth saying that I need to be there. I didn't know what it was, but when people above you tell you need to do something in your organization, you listen. It's cause being a company man. So when they tell me I need to get up and go, I get up and go. So I'm gonna get out there. I got 4 sessions in 2 days, so basically 2 days. Get the sessions in, drive back, fly home. We got a big seminar out in the DFW when I get home. That's gonna be pretty nice to go to. Bob, Bob's a genius. So work with Bob, do some great sparring in when I get home, and then get back to working with Johnny. I work with Johnny Hendricks. We call it Hendricks Stand. Where we're at. You know what I mean? Because I couldn't go to Dagestan. So it's a good place to be. Whether I'm working with DC, I work with Johnny Hendricks, or I'm working with my guy Mindset Mike. I get good wrestling work in. It's just nice to finally be doing it. I wasn't doing it before because I truly didn't give a. You know what I mean? But now, part of the process has to be done. It's like being a basketball player without a jump shot. You got to be able to fix the jump shot. You got to be able to fix the free throw. Certain things have to happen.
Yeah, Ben Simmons should take some notes from you here moving forward there on that jump shot. Do you notice? Do you notice already a big difference in your wrestling game since training with DC and having Johnny around? Have you evolved a little bit since we've seen you last?
I mean, my coaches say that the coaches say I look better. I feel different as a fighter. Overall game, it's like I'm doing certain things. It took me a second to get used to it. Head position and certain things like that because I had to learn how to put the head position there without still not feeling like I was vulnerable to getting hit. You know what I mean? Because I'm a striker first and foremost. So no, I think it's been pretty freaking fun. Honestly, it's been some nice things to figure out. It's I'm able to do things to human beings that I never knew I could do before. They say if you can hold a man down, 2 men can indeed rape him. I can hold him down and rape him my damn self. So I'm feeling pretty good. Add some wrestling with the jiu-jitsu black belt. Some things can happen.
That's a scary thought for the rest of the middleweight division there. I did want to get your take on Derek Brunson's recent win. He looked really good against Darren Till. How impressed were you? And if he does get the next shot against Izzy, how do you think he'll do?
I wasn't that impressed because I knew it was a good chance that Derek Brunson could win. You can hear me in my interview saying it was a possibility. Uh, no, I mean Darren Till lost to Tyron Woodley. Somewhat similar in the styles. A powerful punch, which I don't think is that powerful, and a strong wrestling background. So, that was his first loss into the UFC. So it was a similar style. So it was kind of expected a little bit. I thought Darren Till would do good with his low volume and his knowing exactly what knowing exactly what Brunson was coming to do. But it is what it is. Darren Till's never had the best jiu-jitsu in the world, so they said he had some injuries going into the fight. He moved good to me. They said Derek Brunson has some injuries move going into the fight. He moved good to me. Seems like a typical day going into the fight. We always got injuries. I just think everybody should take it how they take it. The L's a L, win's a win. Derek Brunson looked good this time. Everybody says ground and pound looked better. I think his ground and pound looked like crap against me. So, styles make fights. It was a good style matchup. He made it work for him. Props to Derek Brunson. Really, really good fight. I don't think he does it against Jared Canair, so I think he should just sit around and wait for his title fight. I think that would be the smartest thing to do.
Do you think, or how do you think the Robert Whitaker Adesanya rematch will go if that is the title fight that will be next?
I believe it's the title fight that's next. I just really believe that Adesanya is a hard person to take out at 85. Unless you can catch him, like he's been caught before, it's gonna be hard to do. Winning a point game with him at 85. I was surprised John Blachowicz win the point game. I thought, maybe he'd get a submission, but he's just a hard guy to beat at 85. Big, strong, fast. Elusive. Hard guy to beat at 85. It's gonna have to be somebody with a nice pop in their shot. So Whitaker could possibly get it done, but Izzy's gonna have to be mentally not there.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that rematch whenever it does happen. Another guy I wanted to ask you about is someone that you know pretty well, Brendan Allen. You did fight him in the past. He's been making a lot of noise lately, calling out top 15 fighters, saying, he wants someone in that top 15. And he looked pretty good his last fight out against Soriano. I know you're totally lasered in on Daukaus right now, but is that a rematch that you're hoping that you get down the line?
Yeah, I was talking to my manager about it. That was the rematch I wanted, off the rip. I feel like Brendan Allen should have ever choked me. You know what I mean? Like, probably choke a few of these other guys, but choking me, that was like, what? Where did the banana peel come from? Where did I slip at? But props to him. Yeah, I'll take any fight, bro. You guys know me. I'll fight anybody. Is Brendan Allen a fight I'm looking forward to fighting like next? No, not really. I think he's doing great. I think he's building great. I think the more newcomers that you can have to possibly take out Izzy, I think that's better. You know what I mean? So me and him fighting again, I'm gonna stump him this time. So I don't think he'll get anywhere close to where he wants to be if he fights me this time. But honestly, if I have to do a rematch that I personally, I think GM3 is looking better than freaking Brandon Allen. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel about it. Plus, who the hell wants to fight Henry Hoof again? You know what I mean? If I got to fight Henry Hoof again, I'd rather be fighting Derek Brunson. Henry Hoof is the man. It's not those fighters over there. It's Henry Hoof. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, they're doing some amazing things at Sanford. There's no doubt about that. One other middleweight that I got to get your take on, he's another guy that's making a lot of noise right now, is Sean Strickland. Is he someone that you foresee tangling with at some point down the line?
Yeah, it's got to happen. It's got to happen. We were at weigh-ins together. I think it was a card that I didn't get the fight on or something like that. Something happened that card. Bobby Green was on the card as well. Maybe I did fight on the card. I just can't remember who Sean Strickland fought because he was just coming back. And he started like talking weigh-ins, like trying to be my friend. To be his friend. And then the fights came around, and I noticed a couple fights later, all of a sudden he's yapping his gums while he's fighting. And then I know the coach that he trains with, so I was like, man, they're just taking a page out of my book. I said, it's not authentic, but hey, I feel it. So plus I've had training partners, and he's had similar training partners hit me up and say some about Sean, and they think that I would be the one that really hurt Sean. So I've seen Sean make slick comments about my wrestling. I don't think his boxing is that good. So we can line it up whenever, however, wherever, whatever. or whatever. You know what I mean? I'm always with it. I'm with the shits and giggles.
Well, that's another fight that I know the MMA fans would love to see. I got to ask you about your sneaker collection, man. I'm a sneakerhead myself. I showed you what I was wearing before we went live here. Give me, I guess, your top four, like your Mount Rushmore of sneakers that are at the top of the list that you can't go without.
You know what, man? If it's got to be my Mount Rushmore, not like trying to please anybody else, I'm gonna go with any of my top three SBs. So whether it's my Dunks, my Grateful Deads, or my Sibylus, I just really love my SBs. So they're for sure on the list, like number one on the list. And then my breads, man, the breads, number one, the Jordan 1 bread, OGs. Those things to me, they're amazing. They feel good. They rock good. They look good with just about everything I got in my closet. I got a lot of red and black. So those are probably like number two to me. You know what, man? Hey, like I said, I'm not really worried about the people. So number three are going to have to be any of my New Balances. I mean, I don't care, man. Like any of my New Balances. I throw those New Balances on and I feel like I can go do anything. You know what I mean? Like, I really feel like I can go do anything. And then Number four had to be my off-whites, man. All the off-whites hit different. You know what? The new ones I got. You know what I mean? I got the 11s, lot 11. I've been wearing them around the houses. I'm scared to wear them outside, bro. And they're like house shoes right now. Like the best house shoes I've ever had on the market. It's fire, man. Yeah. So if you ain't got you a pair of lots, go get you a pair of lots before they all gone. There's only one out of 50, so better hurry up and get you a pair.
How many sneakers do you have? Like, are you over 100 at this point? 100 pairs?
Yeah, I got about 130 around the house.
Man, that's an impressive collection. I'm sure it's even better when you actually can sit there and look through them all and pick out what you're going to wear day to day. All right, man, let's talk about this fight with Kyle Daukaus. Again, UFC Vegas 38, October the 2nd. Are you bummed that it's at the Apex and you're not going to be on a pay-per-view with a bunch of screaming fans in attendance? Or are you actually excited to have that more intimate setting?
Yeah, even sometimes the king loses a little battle at war, but the king is still the king. You know what I mean? So I've lost 2 battles at war at the Apex, but I'm still the Apex king. So it is what it is. And even when I have to give up that crown for the Apex, I'll still always be an Apex legend. You know what I mean? And that thing during the pandemic. So yeah, I'm always happy to be in the Apex. You know what I mean? I'm actually gonna go get work done by Dr. Terra in a little while at the Apex. So it's gonna be nice just to get a little fresh a breath of fresh air at the Apex, you know what I mean? Just to walk in there and just taste it, you know what I mean? Taste the victory, taste the defeats, and just overall, you know what I mean? Taste the moments that's happened in that thing, because there's been some moments that's happened in that thing. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Who's going to be in your corner come fight night?
My main man, Suge, CD Powertrain, and then for sure we're going to have Johnny Hendricks in there, and then I'm also thinking we're going to take Stephen Wright with War Room out over there, so I got a pretty cool crew. It's a different crew than normal, but it's a pretty cool crew. We've really been focusing on the MMA and the wrestling this time, so things be different. Same Kev, just a little bit more disciplined Kev.
What kind of a style are you, I guess, expecting Daukaus to bring in this fight? Do you feel like he's going to try to get this to the ground or keep this standing? What are you expecting?
Aggression. I expect Kyle to come forward. I expect him to not march me down, but I expect him to march forward, and I expect him to throw, and I expect him to shoot, but not to shoot off the rip. I don't feel like Kyle's that kind of man. You know what I mean? I feel like Kyle's a confident man, and when I say confident man, I feel like he's confident in his martial arts abilities. I feel like these other guys were nervous. My last 2 guys, they were nervous, and the only thing that they really cared about ultimately was getting back to a title shot, getting back to Israel Adesanya. And they would take no chances getting there. You know what I mean? So if that meant sticking their head in another man's crotch for 25 minutes to get the victory, they would have did that. They would take no chances. They weren't trying to please the fans. I think on the other hand, I think Kyle's trying to prove to everybody in the world that Kyle Daukaus is another Daukaus to remember. He's another Daukaus to fear. I don't think that he wants to be in the shadow of his brother forever. You know what I mean? I think that Kyle wants to go out there and show everybody who the fuck Kyle is. You know what I mean? So I think even when I crack Kyle, I think Kyle still stand there, and I think Kyle try and crack me back. I seen the interview with you and him, and I'm talking about his striking and whatnot, and I think he has every right to say that his striking is better than what people think. I think Kyle Daukaus has a very good striking. I think it's underrated. He has a nice little head kick. He has some pretty decent punches when you're backed up against the cage. So I expect Kyle to come fight. You know, I don't expect Kyle to just look to grapple, but I expect Kyle after the first round, I expect Kyle to do what the smart thing to do is. And that's if we make it past the first round. I expect him to then look for the grappling and whatnot. That's why he said the second round submission. But got another thing coming for you, Kyle. I expect to get a first round submission on you, my boy. So if I don't get you in the first, maybe you get me in a second. But if you don't get me in a second, maybe I pop you in the third. And I'm trying to be like Patty the Batty. Bing, 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 bing. Right hand smacker. Yeah, I'm trying to be like Patty the Batty, baby. So, yeah, let's go do it.
I love it, man. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you is how far you see this fight going, if it gets out of the first round or not. And you don't think it will. You're expecting that you do finish him before we get to round two.
I think, you know what I mean? I think I can catch Kyle early. You know what I mean? If Kyle's too mentally not prepared, you know, more worried about the win before the win could even ever happen, or if he's more worried about the things that's going on in life, you know, with his brother and you know, hurricanes and things like that, because I know how it feels to go through things before the fight, then I think Kyle will be out of there in the first round. But if Kyle comes mentally prepared, we're going to have to see what the judges say, because it's going to be a scrap, my boy.
Can't wait. Again, October the 2nd, UFC Vegas 38. Kevin Holland, Kyle Daukaus in a middleweight bout. Pleasure interviewing you for the first time, man. Before I let you go, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where to follow you on social media, and if you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
Hey, guys, make sure you guys follow me at Trailblaze to the Top. I definitely like to give a big shout-out to Hayabusa. I'd like to give a big shout-out to Beer Roofing. I'd like to give a big shout-out to Rule 1 Protein, the new sponsor. And I also like to give a big shout-out to my motherfucking self, because without me, there is no that. Let's go, bucko. And my ex for letting me use her car while I'm in town. Shout out to her. She's still trying to be golden.